You have to understand. You've got to know what your key numbers are. So for me, I got into property. It was a case of thinking, right, okay, how many people are in this area? So how many, my goal, I started with an end in mind, okay? My target was money first. I didn't target just the people. So I said, how much money do I want to make? I said the first year to Steve, I want to make £35,000 because I didn't have any. And Steve said, okay, £35,000, fine. So I went about with the £35,000 as my big goal, okay, and said, right, with your goal, where is that, how's that going to be achieved? We now had to look at the entire market and say, how many people are in Swindon? How many people live there? Then I went onto the internet, I did my research and found that there was the ratios of those about, I can't remember now, but there was so many people looking for rooms to rent. So I thought if I can only capture that percentage of that many people looking for rooms, I'll be okay. So now I saw the model would actually work, because now it was actually doable, it was looking for it. So the same thing Michael did, and the same thing you're going to do. Make sure there are people, otherwise if there aren't people, it means that your idea is not maybe for now, for here. It might be maybe for later, it might even be obsolete, that there's no longer a need for the product or your service. So now where is your market? And by this I mean, at what stage is your market? I started property investments buying properties which are HMOs. When we started, there was only, in Swindon area, there was only three other investors. So there was myself, I wasn't there at the time. So there was a guy called John, and somebody else who was a small, that really buying small. Only two people when I started. So it was obviously an infancy stage. Today, in the same town, there's over 12 investors, all of them. Do you know what happened? I began, obviously after my success, I began to talk and share, and people were moving and relocating to Swindon because property was cheaper and they knew the model. One girl came from London and got to Swindon and bought a house with no system, with no help, nothing, and lost her entire amount of money. Wow. Because it was a bad investment, not much. Other people have been, but then you just keep on changing and tweaking your model so it becomes suitable to the market and what they need. But now there's so many other people. So meaning